You did everything right. You went to college, you got the degree, you landed the job with the 401k and the dental plan. You bought the house, or at least you're trying to. You maybe even stretched for that $70,000 truck in the driveway because, hey, you earned it. On paper, you look successful. Your bank account has a comma in it. Your LinkedIn says senior something. Your parents think you've made it. But here's what nobody is talking about at Thanksgiving dinner. That money in your savings account, it's not sitting still. It is shrinking right now while you sleep, while you work, while you scroll. And the prison bars, you can't even see them. In 2026, the middle class isn't a status symbol. It's a tax bracket with a marketing campaign. And today I'm going to show you the math they never taught you in school, the real math, the math that explains why a family pulling in $120,000 a year still feels broke, why your neighbor's shiny truck is actually costing him $1 million, and why the most dangerous thing you own in 2026 isn't your debt, it's your savings account. But before I show you the escape, I need to show you the cage. Let's talk about where you actually stand. Under 35, around $76,000. 35 to 44, around $436,000. 45 to 54, around $833,000. 55 to 64, $1,175,000. Pause. Look at your age group. Where do you land? If you're under 35 and you have less than $76,000 in total net worth, you are behind the average, and the average isn't winning. If you're in your 40s with $300,000 saved, congratulations, that feels like a lot. But in 2026 dollars, with the cost of healthcare, housing, and retirement, that $300K is the new broke. I know that stings. Stay with me, because the fix is simpler than you think.
Okay, imagine you're 5 years old. You have a piggy bank. You put $50 in it. You hide it under your bed. A year later, you come back. The piggy bank still says $50. But now, candy that used to cost $1 costs $1.07. Your $50 says $50, but it buys less. That's inflation. And in 2026, the average American savings account earns somewhere between 0.5% and 5% APY, depending on where you bank. So if you're at a major bank, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, you're likely earning less than 1% on your savings. Inflation is running at 3.5% to 4%. That means every single year, your $50,000 in safe savings is actually losing 3% in purchasing power. That's $1,500 gone every year while you did nothing wrong. Here's the 5-year-old version. You filled your piggy bank, but there's a tiny hole in the bottom, and every night, coins quietly fall out. You can't hear them.
Point 2. The fake rich illusion. The real cost of being average. Let me introduce you to someone. Let's call him Dave. Dave makes $95,000 a year. He's got a nice house in a nice suburb. His kids go to a good school. And last year, Dave bought a truck. Not just any truck, the fully loaded version. $72,000, $1,100 a month payment, 7-year loan. Dave sees that truck and feels successful. His neighbors see that truck and feel behind. But here's the cruel math nobody tells Dave. $1,100 a month invested, instead at 8% average return, over 30 years, equals $1,631,479. That truck doesn't just cost Dave $1,100 a month. It cost Dave $1.6 million in retirement wealth. That's not a typo. That is the actual compound interest math on $1,100 a month over 30 years at a historically average stock market return. Dave's truck isn't a status symbol. Dave's truck is a wealth incinerator with a tailgate. Now, before you feel judged, I'm not here to tell you not to enjoy your life. I'm here to show you that looking rich and being rich are two completely different games. And in 2026, most Americans are playing the wrong one. This is what I call the fake rich illusion, and it's everywhere. The bigger house than you need, the premium car payment, the subscription stack you forgot you had, the vacations that went on the credit card. Each one feels like a reward. Each one is actually a vote against your future self.
Point 3. The two-income trap and the degree trap. Value drops. Here's one that will make your head spin. In 1985, a single-income household could buy a median-priced home and save for retirement comfortably. In 2026, a dual-income household making a combined $140,000 often feels broker than that 1985 family. How? How is that possible? When both partners work, costs scale up almost as fast as income. Childcare, 2 car payments, 2 wardrobes, 2 sets of work lunches, higher tax brackets. Elizabeth Warren, before she was a senator, wrote an entire book about this in the early 2000s. And it's gotten worse. The second income often nets you less than you think. That's the two-income trap. And then there's the degree trap. The average student loan debt in 2026 sits north of $37,000 to $45,000 per borrower, depending on the degree. Add in the 4 to 6 years of not investing during prime compound interest years, your 20s, and the real cost of a degree you're not using in your field can run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost wealth. College isn't inherently a trap, but going to college without a financial strategy in 2026, that is a trap.
Point 4. The economic ladder. From surviving to the shadow portfolio. Rung 1. Surviving. Living paycheck to paycheck. Savings equals 0. Rung 2. Stabilizing. 1-month emergency fund. Credit card debt shrinking. Rung 3. Building. 3 to 6 month emergency fund. 401k contributions started. Rung 4. Growing. Debt-free, except mortgage. Index funds. Side income. Rung 5. The shadow portfolio. Investments earning more than your salary. You're getting rich quietly, at work, on paper, in the background. Most Americans are stuck on rungs 1 and 2. And the cruel part, the system is designed to keep you there. Not by some shadowy conspiracy, but by default. By the path of least resistance. By the fact that buying feels better than saving. That spending is marketed to you 4,000 times a day. That no one teaches you rung 5 in school. The shadow portfolio is what the quietly wealthy are doing right now. They're not flashy. They drive normal cars. They live in normal houses. But their investment accounts are compounding every single month. And at some point, those accounts earn more in a month than most people earn at their job. That's the goal. That's the escape.
Okay, we've seen the cage. Now let's talk about the key. There are 2 moves. Just 2. And they work for anyone, whether you make $40,000 a year or $140,000. Move 1. The gap strategy. The gap strategy is simple, almost offensively simple. Your wealth is not determined by how much you make. It's determined by the space between what you make and what you spend. A person making $50,000 and spending $35,000 has a $15,000 gap. That gap goes to work in index funds, in a Roth IRA, in real assets. A person making $150,000 and spending $148,000 has a $2,000 gap. and almost nothing to show for it at 55. The gap is everything, and there are only two ways to widen it: earn more or spend less. Ideally, both. But for most people, the fastest win is on the expense side, because income takes time. Cutting a $200 subscription takes 4 minutes. Move 2. The minimalist money rules. Stop being cheap. Start being strategic. There's a difference between being cheap and being strategic with money. Cheap is skipping your friend's birthday dinner to save $40. Strategic is canceling the 3 streaming services you haven't opened in 6 weeks and auto-investing that $45 every month. Cheap is buying the worst version of everything and resenting every purchase. Strategic is spending intentionally on the things that genuinely improve your life and cutting ruthlessly on everything that doesn't. Rule 1. The 24-hour rule. Wait 24 hours before any non-essential purchase over $100. Rule 2. The subscription audit. Cancel everything you haven't used in 30 days. Rule 3. Pay yourself first. Before you spend $1, 15 to 20% of income goes to investments, automatically. Rule 4. The car rule. Your car payment should never exceed 10% of your monthly take-home. Rule 5. The inflation hedge. Every year, your income must grow faster than inflation. If it doesn't,